Hey everyone, this is Emanuel here, certified body code practitioner, certified group energy facilitator, here to continue to talk about the body code. And we are on page 120 to 130. Again, I just want to do a commentary here. A lot of you who are on my podcast didn't know I'm doing these videos here on commentary about the body code. And so I want to just provide some great information for you guys, just from my own experience of doing this for 9 years and helping lots of people all over the world. Kind of what I've seen, what things have worked for me, what things haven't worked for me, and maybe if you're a client or if you're a practitioner, this may serve you in some way. So the first thing is page 122. It talks about these allergies, these physical allergies we may have, and it kind of makes sense. Your body's always going like, if this happened, then this is why I am allergic to this. So here's a really good example. Do you feel safe to lose weight? We've talked about this. Do you feel safe to lose weight? No. Why? Because you attracted something or someone at that certain time we had little weight. So for example, let's say you're 150 pounds now, but you used to be 110. But at 110, you attracted the narcissist into your life that became highly abusive, and your body says, okay, what's the dominating or the low common denominator on why you attracted this person? Because of your looks. This superficial narcissist found you, so I'm going to do anything in my power to sabotage any form of healing to lower your weight. So you might eat the right food, you might do all these different things, do exercise, proper exercise, drink enough water, do everything correctly, but if you're not changing your body to feel safe to lose weight due to whatever you were dealing with when you were at that certain weight, it's going to be hard to kind of change what they call your set weight. So the same thing with physical allergies. Maybe while you were having peanut butter and jelly sandwich, you saw your parents fight. All of a sudden, you're allergic to peanut butter and jelly because it's not because you ate it so much, but because you witnessed certain things and basically there's some traumatic things that were happening during the time of you eating it, and so your body will relate and say, "Oh, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches usually come with this type of trauma." And if you do it over and over again, it's programming, okay? So that's why really we have to go back to that amazing saying of like anything can cause anything. Like literally your physical allergy could be caused by 2 trapped emotions. It could be caused by 3 miasms. It could be caused by 1 compound. It could be 3 compounds. We don't know. But the main thing is to know how to muscle test and ask the body, are there any reasons why you have this physical allergy? Is there anything that is an associated imbalance before we remove this physical allergy? If you get a yes, just know, program in your brain. It doesn't have to be some crazy miasm. It doesn't have to be some crazy, it could just literally be a trapped emotion at a certain age, and you never know. Maybe you just moved. For example, you just moved. Let's say maybe your wife didn't like the new home that you moved in. And you knew in your mind that you would see this sign probably in your apartments where it said, this building is made out of asbestos. All of a sudden, whenever you're in your building, your eyes turn watery, your nose gets stuffy, and you never had that before. But due to the fact that maybe your wife didn't like living there, and there's a lot of trauma with maybe her complaining about where she lived, all of a sudden certain materials in that area were now making you allergic. And so he just goes through some examples of, what trauma were you consuming this? Like, what trauma was happening simultaneously while you were experiencing a potential allergy. So, I love where it says here on page 122, physical allergies are also created. This is the 4th paragraph. Physical allergies are also created when the subconscious mind makes a faulty connection with a particular substance during either prolonged or sudden emotional or physical stress. So the immune system then considers the substance to be an allergen, and a negative response or reaction will occur when the allergen is encountered in the future. For example, if you experience something upsetting or traumatic while you're eating or drinking something, you may become allergic to that food or drink. Okay, for me, for example, now that I want to do something that wasn't planned for this video, I don't do well with milk. I haven't worked on milk specifically, so even practitioners, we need to work on ourselves. Shame on me, But what's interesting is that I know for a fact that having milk, there's some trauma with loneliness, because I remember I used to eat cereal by myself, either on Saturday mornings or at 5 o'clock watching Batman the Animated Series, and my parents were never home. So that could be it. Or number two, I would have it in the morning time before school, or maybe at nighttime before I go to bed, and my parents would be fighting a lot while I'm eating my cereal or I'm having my milk, and, chocolate chip cookies, whatever. So I can already imagine what it could be. Now, here's the fun part. Which one is it? Is it column A? Is it, is it the loneliness? Is it the trauma with the parents? The question and the answer actually really should be is, I don't know. We don't know. We should just go to the body code, and the body code will locate it and help you to find it. So again, super key, guys. If you want to get the best results, I'm going to say it over and over again. If you want to get the best results in the body code, you just need to get used to saying anything can cause anything. I have no idea. So even like if I'm talking to a client right now, 9 years later, whenever they're telling me suggestions of what it could be, I'm listening to it because it could be that. But then that might reprogram you to kind of lean towards what they're saying. You might have a biasness because of their suggestion or their assumption. But it's better to be like, yeah, and you want to finish in your mind saying, yeah, but I don't know, anything can cause anything. Then dive in the healing session. You'll get way better results because you're not listening to their biasness. Obviously your subconscious recorded it. It'll go there if it needs to, but it will also go somewhere else where it's really needed. Okay, so 124 is interesting. So they have a cool little list there. I didn't know in the Body Code app that they have a list. I don't know if this is new. Do you guys see the list on page 124? Peanuts, cow's milk, wheat. I don't know if that's in the Body Code app. I wouldn't be surprised if they added it recently. I haven't personally seen it, but maybe they might add this since the book is out. But it's cool. You can technically muscle test these and see what's going on with this. So that'd be kind of fun. Also, something that's really interesting is on page 124, sometimes I don't look at allergies like these are my allergies, these need to be removed. What I've noticed by using the inner, and if you want an inner voice scan or what they call a easy scan from my wife, make sure to email her healwithjess@gmail.com. I mean, it's really inexpensive what we're doing it for. I think it's like $44 for inner voice, but she'll tell you the price for it. It's like pretty cheap. It's like almost half a session. But go ahead and email her at healwithjess@gmail.com, and she'll do an easy scan on you. And that's something you can do on a daily basis. So I don't have my machine on me, but you go into this AO scan device, and in it there's an easy scan. It'll record my voice for 12 seconds, up to 8 to 10,000 frequencies coming from my voice. And what's interesting is that it will tell you what you're kind of allergic to right now, because what will also happen is that if there's almost like allergies, like chronic ones, but there's also like real-time allergies. And what I mean by that is that depending also what you've eaten before, let's say like a whole week you've eaten meat, you might be allergic to meat by Wednesday or Thursday, saying, no, our body is having problems processing that specific energy in your body. So if you want a real time of like how your body's doing in regards to like temporary allergies, not the chronic ones you've always had, but real time, up to date things that you might be allergic to kind of avoid, to say, no, I shouldn't eat this tonight, is doing an easy scan with my wife. If you do an easy scan, it will tell you, hey, avoid these foods. Today, for some reason, avoid oat. I remember we did this when we went to a conference where she was like doing a lot of telling people what the AO scan was. She would do a lot of scans for people. And she would always tell people that, look, it says here some type of beef or chicken, And then the person was kind of confused. Like, I'm not allergic to beef or chicken. I eat beef or chicken all the time, and nothing happens to me in the bathroom or my digestive system. But it's just saying right now, if you were to consume more beef or chicken, they wouldn't do so well. Their body wouldn't process that specific energy. Every food that goes into your body has a different energy. And your body is constantly adapting to what is great for you right now, what's not great for you. So there's no real consistency in it. Now, again, you can avoid the chronic ones that you've always had for a while, you've had. For example, milk, I know, good day or bad day, I'm probably not going to do good with milk. But there's some that, like, wouldn't you like to know more real time? Like today, what can't I have today? And I remember she found some meat, and then the person said, last night, I was eating that meat, actually. It was in my gyro, or in my Greek food that I was eating. I definitely had some beef and blah, blah, blah. Wow, I usually am not allergic. I'm surprised that it showed a little red dot on the scan that says I should probably avoid it. But that made sense because he recalled, he's like, last night I ate that. What it's saying, his body is still processing that food, but is having some trouble with it. And so just that moment, probably it's better not to go to another Euro place and get some more beef, because then it probably will give him digestive issues. So that's kind of cool. I love knowing the fact that that's what the AO scan can do, is you can do an easy scan every single day, and it will tell you, hey, today, for the whole day, avoid this, 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 this. And it'll tell you like maybe a list of like 10 to 15 things. Now, it may optimize it too, or it kind of fixes it where it says, yeah, you can, I mean, this was red where you couldn't eat beef, but after the scan and after the frequencies, you're green now, which means go ahead and consume it. So it can change, but if it stays red, then it means probably don't try it for today or tomorrow. You can probably even muscle test. Should I eat today? No. Should I eat tomorrow? No. Oh, eat it the third day? Cool. You can probably muscle test that. Then your body's just more focused on digesting that specific food. Anyway, but if you have any questions about that, or you're like, I want to know what I can eat and not eat for that specific moment, for the specific energy of my body I'm dealing with, I'd love to know that. Then that's called an easy scan. And you can email, again, my wife. She knows all about it. She's way more informative about it. That's healwithjess@gmail.com, and ask her, how much does an inner voice cost? The one that I was telling you about that shows, the easy scan is more of like, it'll show you right now maybe some things to avoid. If you wanted the full body scan, that's a whole nother thing. That's kind of like getting a $30,000 blood work or whatever. But just for what you should avoid, that's called an easy scan. She can help you out with that. Again, it's healwithjess@gmail.com. So let's go to 127. The top paragraph. And sometimes it's good when you do find an idea intolerance or an idea allergy, is to ask, is there a physical allergy that comes from this? And if it says yes, then get rid of that physical allergy, which means, for example, let's say your wife getting upset, or your sister-in-law, maybe you have an intolerance to a specific person. You might have or you might have an idea allergy to a specific person in your family. It may cause you to have rashes, And so remove the physical allergy and remove the idea allergy both. So whenever you do find an idea allergy, it takes 2 seconds. Just check, hey, is there a physical, do I also have a physical intolerance, or do I have a physical allergy with this too? I do. Is there anything below that? There is. Just remove that stuff too. Then get rid of the physical allergy, and then move on. So don't, because you never know. Maybe you're dealing with tiredness all of a sudden, or bloating, or gases, or just skin rashes, and it could stem from an idea allergy or an intolerance, and then on top of that, you're getting a physical symptom as well. Okay, the last thing is page 130. It shows a couple of idea allergens there. These are so powerful. Idea allergy, idea intolerances. I like to keep it simple. You guys want to keep it super simple? This is when someone says, what's an idea allergy or intolerance? Say, an idea allergy is like the foundation of triggers. You get upset, it kind of gets underneath your skin, I call it, or it's like chewing tinfoil. Idea allergies. Idea intolerances are more stress hormones. Just think of stress hormones, overwhelmed, anxious, nervous, headache, feel tired all of a sudden. I was with my wife, and I saw her sitting down on the couch, and she was talking to like her ex, I believe, and she started kind of like sinking in the couch. I was like, huh, like kind of like the couch was like eating her, like, she was getting tired all of a sudden. And I mentioned, I said, is there an idea intolerance? There was. And I guess maybe they were not getting along. So I just said, so I went down the list. I'm like, oh, it's fighting. Like any fighting in general. Like, here's interesting. With these intolerances, idea allergies, there might be words you need to add to it to kind of really encapsulate what the body's trying to remove. So with that one, for example, it wasn't just fighting. It was like fighting with X, or fighting with that person's name. And I was muscle testing to see which one it was. Once I found it, I said, is there something below that that's causing that? There was, and I removed that. All of a sudden, boom, she's like resurrecting from the couch, and more energy. The same thing happened to her when we were driving and we were going to go clean up her bedroom area, downstairs underneath her mom's place, and she got tired. She started sinking into the seat again. I'm like, oh, here she goes. She's getting really tired or headache. You just feel like she's dreading everything, And I'm just wondering, like, is there an idea intolerance that's happening to you, like right now? Oh, look, it's ringing right now. Okay, which one is it? Column A, column B. I found it. I forgot what it was, but it had something to do with like bad things you can't control or something like that. It was like basically the mess that was kind of down there that we needed to kind of arrange. As soon as I got rid of it, it was crazy. She was cleaning so proficiently, so quickly, and no, like I needed a rest. She didn't need a rest. She was like, I'm on a roll here. I'm just going to keep going. I'd rather just work it out for the next 2 or 3 more hours. Then we'll get some food. And I reminded her, I'm like, you think that helped out that idea intolerance? She's like, yeah. She's like, there's no way. I typically, when I do this type of work, I get tired within an hour and 30 minutes. I just get like exhausted. I don't want to do anything anymore. She was at 3 hours and still just going. So think about what are times where you feel yawning. I think it's almost kind of neat to know that the next time your partner gets triggered, you probably will find an idea allergy. The next time your partner is tired or gets a headache or gets stressed out, there's probably an idea intolerance connected to it. So get used to doing that. Instead of like letting them run their gamut, just say, do you have an allergy? Oh, you do? Okay. Does it cause a physical allergy? Okay, cool. So just, and then you're kind of working with your closest family members or the people you love on a real-time basis. You don't have to wait for the next session. It just takes like 2 or 3 minutes, and you're just kind of cleaning stuff off as you go along. Excuse me. So last thing I want to share with you guys is the offensive energies. And so we're going to go into that. I'm excited. He mentioned in here kind of powerful that 7 out of the 37 miracles that Jesus did for healing had entity involvement, which causes physical and emotional ailments. So it's kind of weird. There's a lot of people who believe in Jesus, but you don't believe in entities. That's actually not possible. That would actually assume that would make you assume that Jesus was lying that he ever witnessed that. But then it can't be a lie. Why? Because you have 3 witnesses, like we have Matthew and Luke and John that witnessed these people that were dealing with a mental or emotional or physical ailments, and he had to remove something from them to help out with the healing. And that could happen. That doesn't mean that you remove the entity and then all of a sudden, boom, you feel better. It can. Usually it does during that session. You'll feel lighter, more relaxed. But I'm talking about the ailment, though. If you have like serious ailments, yeah, entities can affect it. Can give you fatigue and physical pain. But there might be more underlying imbalances. But it's kind of hard if you just... I'm so glad he brought up entities, because what if you're working on someone and releasing all these things for depression, but then you leave the entity there? That'd be bad, because entities cause anger towards self-sabotage, bad nightmares, bad mood, depression. So you're leaving something that's almost like a major catalyst for the symptoms that they're dealing with. And I just love the story. I want to share with you guys that it may share it here, it may not. But I remember Brad shared with me like why he put it on there. He told me in a very private setting, but he said that. Actually, let me go back a little bit. One of my favorite prophets, he once said this: is that we're only saved as quick as the knowledge we acquire. And you might say, what knowledge? And the knowledge is to know what is around us, even though you don't see it. Because something that is very, very obvious is that we don't remember where we came from. So we have a veil over our eyes, over our mind. We don't remember where we came from. We don't know how powerful we really are. We don't know what we were doing in the war in heaven. Were we valiant in the front with our testimonials, or were we sitting in the back going like, yeah, I barely accept Jesus' thing, but I'm going to go down to earth. We don't know who we were, So, but guess who does know who we are besides God? Is the ones that did not accept Jesus as the Savior and didn't agree to the plan, didn't like it, and wanted to go to Satan's plan. Satan had a better plan than the Father. And so it says 1/3 of God's children came to earth. So again, if you believe in the Bible, you have to believe in the book of Revelation. If you believe in the book of Revelation, then you believe the 1/3 are where? They're here. They're right here. And what are they doing here? They're continuing the war from heaven down here. Even though you might believe in, again, Jesus Christ obviously did this amazing atonement for everything, whatever. But even he had to deal with entities. Even his apostles had to deal with it. You don't think we're going to deal with it? All of a sudden we're too good for that stuff? No, it's like we're still in the war field right now. And so the fact that he brought this up, he said that he thought he was going to get discredited, that people were going to say, no, I can't listen to this body code stuff anymore because now he goes into entities. Now you're just weird. But again, if 80% of people are Christians and you believe that Jesus Christ removed 7 entities out of 37, then why is it like taboo, or why is it bad for Dr. Brad to bring up like, hey, in order to regain emotional, physical health, these have to be addressed? And I know that he's inspired because as soon as you remove these, the client might see huge changes in relief. But not only that, is that he said that when he was thinking about putting it on the body code, he said that he was haunted by like 4 of them that were just yelling at him for like the whole night. They were just mad at him, just yelling and yelling and yelling, And because of that, he decided, I'm going to put it on there. And that makes sense, right? He knew that it was causing hostility amongst them. Why would it cause it hostility unless it was a way to get rid of them, right? If they didn't bother him, then that'd be kind of curious. But they bothered him. They were annoyed that he was going to make a very strong decision for other people to have the power to remove them. That's why they were yelling at him. So he says, because you guys were yelling at me, because you have some sort of strong opposition against it, I'm going to do it in spite of you guys, because I know that a lot of people out there who are dealing with mental illness, I really believe this, a lot of people who are in jail right now, or people who went to a psych ward, I guarantee they have offensive attachments. I guarantee they have evil spirits jumping in and out of them, disembodied spirits influencing them. And then they may even wake up in there and be like, I don't even know what I just did. And that's a real thing. It's not because they have some mental illness. It's because I wanted to interview the guy who was called Legion. He wasn't speaking anymore. Do you guys know that? The story of Legion, who had like multiple, he says, we're called Legion because we are many, right? But he's not talking anymore. He was just a physical placeholder for multiple entities. And what was he doing? What you think he's just sitting around doing nothing? No, he's harming himself. Okay, so how does that translate to modern world stuff? Children who are cutting themselves. Very, very similar. There's sort of a parallel there. Could entities be involved? Absolutely. Now, they don't have to fully possess the child. They can kind of momentarily do it. But guys, I love how he has respect, and he says, if you're not into this stuff, go to the next chapter. But I'm telling you, don't miss this chapter out. This is something that we as the light workers, you as the client who's trying to grow, it's important to check if you have these. For me, for example, I'm going to be very vulnerable with you, is if I feel really down and I feel like negative thoughts are like a waterfall kind of hitting me out of nowhere, there's an attachment to me. And I'll check. I'll say, do I have an entity attachment? Oh, I do. So I have to get rid of it. Sometimes my eyes look kind of different, and my wife notices it like that. She goes, your eyes look different, like darker, And then she would remove it from me. And so just know that like you have the ability to muscle test. Do I have any entities attached to me? If you sway forward, say how many? Is it more than 1? No. More than 2? No. More than 3? Yes. Is it 3? Yes. Okay. Is there anything that's below it that's attracting them or would attract them in the future? And then you want to just dive in there and look for what you find. I'll share with you one last story. If I didn't experience it, I don't know if I'd even believe this story. But I was working with someone, a teen who was like 19, and he had depression. I worked on his heart wall a couple times. I think I cleared it. And his depression went from a 9 to a 4. Didn't go all the way down. So I went in to get him the body code and said, what else is causing depression? Guess what I found? An entity. But what he didn't tell me is that he can see them. Some people have the ability to see them. So his face turns pale, because I'm on a Zoom call. I used to do Zoom call sessions. His face turns pale, and I kind of look at him curious, like, hey, are you okay over there? You look kind of off. He's like, yeah. He's like, it's here. He's here. Okay. So what does that mean? He's a disembodied spirit. He's someone who's been here before. Spirits have genders, male, female. He's here. Okay. Now I actually, I think from what I remember, I might have been like, is it a female or a male? I think I might have egged him on. I said, is it a male? Because I'm getting that it's a male. He's like, yes, it's a male. And he was kind of describing him to me. And he was just staring at him from in the room, and he just kept looking at him. And then I said, well, before I remove it, let me just try to remove some things from you that attracted this, And I found a will to die at 14. That's when he came out of the closet. That's when he and his parents were really hard on him, and he wanted to commit suicide. That actually makes perfect sense. Will to die is beating yourself up in your head. You don't want to be here anymore. And so then he created that energy. This male that was following him has similar energies to him. So that's why they got attracted to each other. Or sorry, he didn't attract to him, but the entity got attracted to you. So that's key. These will to die energies, these no will to live, any no will to ... will to ... those in the body code, for some reason, they're like really attract entities. And so he had a will to die. And then all of a sudden, I removed it. Watch this. So I removed it. At that time, I was like kind of doing this guy. And all of a sudden, he like zapped. Like he said it was kind of like a television set that had static. And then all of a sudden, it was really close to him. Or closer. Then I removed something else. And then it got nose to him, like nose to nose. And he's like, okay, this is really nerve-wracking. He's like, his face is like really right next to my face right now. And then I said, okay, just hold on 1 second. And then I just said, in the name of the Creator, or you say, in the name of Jesus Christ, I command this entity to leave you alone, and I send them to the light. And he literally walked away. He said he was like staring at him the whole time while he was walking away. And he said he had some processing the next 2 days. He kind of felt kind of down a little bit. But then he went down to a 1 in depression. So these do work. I love that story because it happened to me and I saw it. Like visually. Luckily, we weren't on a phone call. It was way cooler to kind of see him go through this process of like, what am I seeing? And he was telling me kind of like what he saw. And he's like, I forgot to tell you, I do see these things since I was a kid. And I don't know what to make of it. And so I just want to tell you guys that these are real. Take them seriously. Don't skip over this chapter. And test yourself from time to time. If you ever feel really down, or you're having bad nightmares a lot, or a lot of sabotage going on, you feel stuck, you feel like something's watching you, like whatever, just check. Do I have an entity attached to me? How many do I have? Is there an associated imbalance that attracted them or will attract them in the future? There is. Go through the body code, remove. Anything else? No. Okay, in the name of the Creator, I command this entity to leave me alone, and I send you to the light. And then say, do you have this anymore? No. Cool. And just see how you feel. Guarantee you'll feel a lot better. So hopefully you enjoy this. Kind of went off on a whole entity talk there, but this is important information for you and your family. If you have children who have night terrors, 99% there's some entities going on there. So just want to let you guys know that it's an important chapter. If you want to pray about it. But I'm excited to continue working with you. Go ahead and comment below which tip really stood out for you, or what thing did you get from these pages of 120 to 130. And then also, if you are not on Heal yet, make sure to go to haveempathyandlove.com. I'm doing group healing there every single week. This week has to do with self-love mastery, heart chakra mastery, and self-love, taking down any fake personas that are trying to assist you and kind of show your true self. That's this week. It's still not too late to join, but go ahead and join haveempathyandlove.com, and then we can let you in that room. And it's only $88 for 7 days of healing. So my wife and I try to make it super affordable for you guys to get 7 days of healing. Plus, children are included. As many children as you want, as long as they're 17 and under, they can be included with you in the healing. So with that, we will talk soon and look forward to continue to add commentary. Again, feel free to comment below what your biggest thing was, and look forward to you reading this book with me. Take care, guys.